Alright, I am on my way to pick up our Belize vehicle today. We fell in love with our 1995 Land Cruiser, but unfortunately it had a leak in the engine somewhere, and getting parts for it was just too difficult. And we are like slightly mechanically inclined, but not really, for like a vintage vehicle and like, you know, to really get into the nitty-gritty of things. So because we fell in love with Toyota, we bought a Lexus, which is a Toyota, and we bought a GX 470, I think is what it's called. Yeah, sorry, I've got too much going on today. My mind is everywhere. So it's basically like a fancier version of a Land Cruiser. We got it for a steal of a deal because it had some rust underneath it. And so we drove to Toronto like 2 months ago, bought it, took it to our friend Tony's shop. And Tony's done a bunch of work on it that you would never see because it's all underneath. And I'm going to sand it down, and then I'm going to prime it and seal it, and then I'm going to paint it so it looks fancy. Then in a month or two, we're probably going to lift it and put some off-roading shock system on it, and we'll have our one vehicle for Belize ready to go. We are nowhere near being ready to get back down there due to some unforeseen circumstances. We'll get into that another time. But yeah, we're a little step closer, so that's exciting. I'm gonna do a video on me sanding down this massive SUV and sealing it and then painting it. That'll be fun. I'm sure everyone will love to see me struggle through that. But I'm excited. Here we go. Okay, here we go. They're polished, they're cleaned. Time to spray. I've tried to talk Matt into leaving them chrome.
No.
No chrome?
No chrome.
But they're beautiful.
They're not beautiful.
They're so shiny.
They're horrible. No chrome.
No chrome. Okay, prepping the tire. And remember, I am not an auto body person. I am not doing this to make it look extremely fabulous. I don't care. However, I've done this before, and before I used a deck of playing cards for this, and it was great, but it was time consuming, and I like things done fast. I've always used this. I've used the Plasti Dip too. It's great when you're first learning how to do it because it peels right off if you make a mistake. So it's prepped, ready to go. I'll show you when it's done. All right, that one's done and drying. I might have to do another coat. There it is. He's happy.
Rain, come on.
Right, done. No more chrome. Didn't have to spend a fortune on black rims. Next, this. Oh, this film is a real pain in the ass, so I'm gonna try and scrape it off because it's kind of turning into goo. And I'm just gonna try and get a remover because it's gross. Here we go. I'm gonna go over it by hand after to get the spots that it's too hard to get because there's lots of lumps and bumps in this model. Okay, it's bloody hot out. It's like 34 degrees. And I decided that today was a good day to start sanding down the vehicle. So here I am. Here we go. How's that gooey shit going?
Isn't the best.
No. Okay, it's hot as Satan's balls outside. So, as you can tell, I'm very sweaty. We live on a farm right now in Canada. And because the sun is murderous, I've decided to come inside the arena. I have sanded the truck down. And now I am using degreaser spray. And then I will give it a good clean, and then I'm going to use another coat of degreaser spray. And then Windex, because Bad Chad says Windex is the best thing to use before you paint. So that's what I'm going to use. All right, wish me luck. Okay, the car is primed. It was a nightmare. Here I am. All right, we're primed. There's no bugs stuck in it. All right, there it is. Okay, so what would I do differently? I would definitely get one of those hazmat suits. My hair is quite crunchy. I did it outside, so I thought I'd be okay, but that was not the case. So now I'm gonna try and wash myself off with Dawn dish soap and hope that that works. Okay, so I've taken a break. There she is there. I sanded it down after I did my base seal, and some of you I'm sure are going to have a lot to say about that. However, this is my first time doing this. I think I've done a pretty damn good job, and I sanded it down with a really fine piece of sandpaper because, let me explain why I did it. My gun that I cheaped out on, which I have an air compressor and I bought an actual gun, but I didn't use it because I didn't bring the air compressor to where we're living right now, which was a huge mistake. The gun that I cheaped out on was shot, and it started to like spray speckled sealant everywhere. So I had no choice but do that. I hope it doesn't mess with it. I'm gonna wipe it down. But I mean, like, even if it looks half-assed, I don't care, because they've only spent $1,000 in my products. And I got quoted $7,000. And I've had a truck before that I wanted to get painted, and I ended up wrapping it because it was cheaper, and it was also around $700. This was years ago. So I don't think I'm going to find anything cheaper. So here we are, learning as we go. I'm still covered in whatever the sealant was from back spray. So everyone, if you go to do this, don't cheap out on the gun. Buy lots of acetone to clean the gun. And get a hazmat suit and goggles. So the lady who we bought our stuff from in Toronto for all of our paint supplies, she was lovely, but we got talking so much, and I think she forgot to give me an extra can of activator. So everything's come to a halt right now because clearly I can't drive anywhere. Matthew is at work with our other vehicle. So my bestie, Scott, who works and manages a shop, is going to use his account to order me some activator and acetone because I called CarQuest and asked if they would deliver, and they would not because I don't have an account. So thank God I have great friends in great places. So he's gonna put on his account and get it delivered to me so I can commence and have this truck drivable hopefully by tomorrow. Here we go. I don't know if you can hear me. First coat done. Woo! All right. First coat is done. It's a little bit more khaki than I wanted, but that's okay. I'll live with it. Looks pretty fucking good. Spot on for never painting a vehicle before. So the color I chose was a Mercedes-Benz color, because everything else was just either like too white gray or like too dark of a gray. I'll get the name and all the other details for you in my final video.
It's rain tonight.
It's done. I'm exhausted. Pretty sure he hates it. Right, headlights buffed and a clear coat put on them with a UV protectant. I'm over here about to do the kickboards. Wish me luck. Alright, they're done. Those are flies. Tomorrow we'll be up there if it's not gonna rain.